Hi guys, how are you all doing? Today is Thursday the 12th of December 2019. I'm back from my retreat, process, whatever you want to call it. I thought I'd talk a little bit about it. I didn't complete it. My normal patterns of behaviour, Jan ran away. For many reasons, really. I probably should have done more research into it, and I know the girl that advised me to go on it is on here, and I don't want you to think for 1 minute that this is anything to do with you. I signed up, I said I would do it, and yes, it looked good, and I hoped it would be enlightening. I've met some wonderful people, and I've learned a lot about myself on that process. It's called the Hoffman process, and if you Google it, you can read into it what you like. It's a residential stay for 6 days in a country house with lots of other people. And it's about working on your behaviour patterns, where you get certain behaviours from in your life. So you have to dig back into your past and your childhood. I think what I wasn't prepared for straight away was quite how in depth the sessions would go. I did ask some questions beforehand, and obviously you have to fill in a form, and they ring you up and say, this isn't about grief, this is purely about your childhood and past and all of that, and trying to lay things to rest, I guess. But what I didn't imagine is getting there, the people, 24 people, all strangers, all grown up, all have their own issues, and I truly believed I was going to walk into there being the most broken person with everything that's happened to me. I'm not being a victim, I'm just being honest. I lost Harry less than a year ago, and I'm struggling with that, and they knew that. And but one of the most shocking things for me, and I'm laughing about it because I don't take too much too seriously even throughout this process, but they basically had an environment on the Monday which was totally around funerals, and it was kind of enacting, I guess, doing some funerals. I won't go into too much detail because for anybody that wants to go and do the Hoffman process, it works for many people, but at this stage in my life, that catapulted me back into grief, and that was one of the reasons I went there, was to try and have a break from my grief, and it kind of catapulted me back into it. I ended up having flashbacks, so it wasn't really good for my mental health. Like I said, nobody's fault in particular. I'm a grown-up, I made the decision. I realise I've learned so much about myself this week though, and that's the positive that I'll bring away from that. I've learned I'm stubborn. I fucking hate authority. I knew that anyway, but when you're put into a situation where it's a school kind of environment, and there are teachers effectively trying to get you to think a certain way, and your brain doesn't want to go that way, I'm resistant at every angle, and that was really difficult for me. I really tried hard. I tried hard to connect with my spiritual being, and I really gave it my all, but I just couldn't do it. In the end, I think by yesterday I was pretending, and that's not really good for anybody, is it? Because I was winging it and just going, yeah, I do believe, I do get this, I do get that, and in fact I didn't get any of it. So yeah, sadly for me, I walked out and I did what I always do. It's a pattern of my behaviour that I quit before I fail. Not that anybody fails this process, but they generally step out of their comfort zone, even if they don't want to, and they're encouraged to stick with it, and I just couldn't do that. I don't like being spoken to in a certain manner. If somebody I feel is putting me down or speaking to me in a way that belittles me, I push back, and I got very upset at something yesterday. I didn't want to participate in something that they were doing, and that meant I left the room, and one of the facilitators came out and asked me, come on, Janine, this is a pattern, you're running away. And I said, yeah, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. I don't want to, let's say, celebrate, for instance. I didn't feel in the mood to party. I didn't feel in the mood to want to join in, and that's my prerogative as a 47-year-old grown-up. I said no, and she basically looked at me like a piece of shit, walked off. I was crying. I was very upset. And when you think about the lack of compassion there, and another colleague had come out of the room, asked me if I was okay. Clearly I wasn't. I was crying. And another facilitator came out and told me, will you let other people enjoy themselves? And I was just like, what the fuck? Are you serious? I didn't fucking ask them to speak to me. I was like, I'm done. Packed my bags. I was just like, I'm fucking out of here. You know, nobody gets to speak to me in that manner. I'm not being superior. I'm just have some self-respect. You know, I've done enough and seen enough in this life to not be spoken to like that when I've paid a lot of money to be there. So yes, I left with my normal hot-headed fuck you kind of self, and I packed my bags, I came home, and yeah, if something else is positive that's come out of that, I came home and home felt good for the first time in a long time. And you know, the room was comfortable there, the food was fantastic, the people are lovely, everybody's broken in their own way for whatever reasons, and everybody's reasons were very different, but I personally realised I'm stronger than I think I am. Stronger, hot-headed, whatever you want. And I kind of know my own worth, and that isn't putting myself in a situation where I feel belittled by, I suppose, your superiors, because they were the facilitators, the teachers that, you know. So yeah, that's my take on the Hoffman process. It didn't work for me. It doesn't mean to say it won't work for you if you fancy doing it. So many people are like, wow, I've heard great things from that. And I think, yep. I just didn't get it, and I can't go into specifics. You know, I've signed a document to say that, you know, part of the reason I was so shocked about things that went on in there was because it is secret and you can't find out that information. You know, people have written this confidentiality contract. But they should have put two and two together when I told them I was grieving for my husband. They shouldn't really have accepted me to go on the course when actually it was all around death, dying, putting things to bed. And I was like, I've had enough of funerals this year. I'm done with that kind of thing. So I will mark that down to experience. And, you know, like I said, I've come away with a lot of positives and realizing a lot about myself. I don't hate myself as much as I thought I did. And I stand strong in what I believe in and who I think I am. And if that means I want to step away and have a cry for my husband, I'm going to bloody well do it, because that's what another thing I've learned about grief this year is nobody's grief is the same, and you can grieve for as long as you want to, in whatever way you want to, because it isn't about anybody else. Nobody knew Howie the way I knew Howie. Nobody has lost what I've lost in my husband. They might have lost their wife, they might have lost their child, they might have lost this, and that's personal to them, so I would never take that away from them. My grief is my own, and I'm going to own it. My phone is ringing now and I really need to answer it because it's Mark M. Anyway, I hope you're all really well, healthy and happy. Good to be back, and I will catch up with you all again soon. Bye.